Georgians call October Vinobistve, wine month. This is a period when grapes are harvested. Collecting and pressing the grapes is a special ritual in the Kakheti region. This is a festival not only for Kakhetians, but also for the whole country and its visitors. The winemaking history in Kakheti dates back to the 6th century BC. Archaeological excavations show that Georgia is regarded as the birthplace of wine. Georgians express their particular affection for vines and wine in their culture, traditions and customs, architecture and art. Kakheti is Georgia's historic province. Historic and cultural monuments from various centuries are intermingled here. Together with beautiful natural vistas, they create a unique synergy. That's what attracts visitors to Kakheti. The desire to develop this beautiful and ancient historic province of Georgia has become the basis of the Regional Development Project of Georgia, which is supported by the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, the World Bank, and implemented by the government of Georgia. The project builds on the overall Kakheti tourism strategy. The project implies improvement of tourism and cultural heritage infrastructure, enhancement of institutional capacity, rehabilitation of municipal infrastructure and public facilities, conservation and restoration of public spaces and cultural heritage buildings, and development of tourist routes. Tourist infrastructure projects were designed based on the concept of harmony between the architecture of historic monuments and the natural landscape. Total cost of the project is $75 million. It is an investment into a better future. That's the money to be spent for further economic development of the region and the country. The regeneration of Telavi has helped to create many local jobs and improve infrastructure and transportation facilities, bringing direct benefits to the residents, improving experiences for tourists, but also creating a favorable climate for continued investment. A series of broad consultations with all stakeholders made it possible to identify the needs of those concerned and to plan accordingly. The city fortress Ujarma, built in the 4th century AD, overlooks the road connecting outer Kakheti with inner Kakheti from the highest point on the Gambori Gorge. The monument played an important role in between the 4th and 8th centuries in the history of Georgia. Built at 800 meters above the sea level, Ujarma Fortress is one of the best examples of the Georgian defense and fortification facility. Only ruins are preserved from this historic city fortress. However, the fortress architecture still manages to enrapture its visitors. Under the Regional Development Project, tourist infrastructure was improved, cobblestone roads, public toilets were built, and street lights were installed. Ujarma City Fortress Information Center now has its own source of electricity. Another historic monument on the Gambori Gorge is New and Old Shuamta. Both of these monuments are surrounded by mountains from 3 sides. The churches are also surrounded by a deciduous forest. That is why this place was called Shuamta, place in the middle of mountains. Khachuli Mother of God Convent of New Shuamta dates back to 16th century. The monastery surrounded by a high fence is still functional, and tourists are charmed by not only its beauty, but also by the church rituals practiced there. Old Shuamta, built in between the 5th and the 7th centuries, is situated just above the New Shuamta, and the distance between them is about 2 kilometers. The Old Shuamta is made up of 3 buildings. This architectural monument is one of the earliest among the Georgian Christian monuments. Under the Regional Development Project, a tourist information center is being built near the Shuamta turn. It is almost complete. The road leading to the Shuamta complex starts from that point. Some time ago, vehicle movement here was almost impossible. Public toilets and church information shops are being built at 3 different points. In the past, there was no infrastructure before, just the monastery. Shortly, the tourists will be able to access both monuments using transportation. Two-layer asphalt is being laid on the 2.5-kilometer road. Bearing walls and drainage were built, and underground communications were replaced before the road construction was started. Construction of tourist infrastructure is almost complete. The revetting works will commence very soon. Works in the Kakheti region offered an incentive to entrepreneurs and businessmen to extend their business activities or even launch new businesses. One of the goals of the Regional Development Project of Georgia was attracting private investments into Kakheti's tourism and agribusiness areas. With the support from the World Bank, the government of Georgia played its part in the process through improving the infrastructure near the private business areas. One of those is Chateau Mere Hotel, which is situated on the Gambori Gorge. It is so close to Tbilisi that it attracts not only tourists but also Tbilisi residents who often stay here over the weekends and holidays. We have run this hotel for a year and a half now, but the road was built a year ago. About 220 meters long road with a parking space was built. It's a big advantage for us, for my business, for our comfort, and for my visitors' comfort. Another hotel, which Mr. Piradashvili built some time ago, is situated near Kvareli, another town in Kakheti. The Royal Batoni Hotel overlooks the Ilia Lake from the hilltop. The lake is a very appealing recreation area for visitors. This already popular recreation area opened in November 2011. It's impossible to leave Kakheti without visiting one of the biggest churches in Georgia, Alaverdi Monastery Complex. The Alaverdi Monastery was founded in the 6th century. God's gift, that's what Alaverdi means in Georgian. During centuries, it was a strong spiritual and cultural center. Its height, including the dome, is more than 50 meters high. Alaverdi has always a lot of pilgrims and visitors at all times. Under the Regional Development Project, tourist infrastructure urban landscape was developed near Alaverdi, which includes information center, public parking lot, and toilets. Cafe Kakheti was built here. Its opening will take place during Alaverdi festivities. Another landmark of Kakheti, Ikalto Monastery Complex, is situated 10 kilometers from Alaverdi. It was built in the 6th century. According to historic sources, an academy was founded here in the 11th, 12th centuries, and it is regarded as one of the most important education centers of that period. This ancient monastery complex is still functioning. Information center, parking lot, and shops are being built for visitors here. According to locals, the street vendors who produce various souvenirs for tourists will now move to a comfortable building. Therefore, they are impatiently looking forward to the completion of the works. The mood is very much festive. Of course, the renovated Tel Aviv is beautiful. Compared to its old state, it's ideal. Everything is new. One would think we are in a different town and universe. We are impressed with everything here. It was never like this before, and I would never imagine Tel Aviv would change so much and become so beautiful. It is very beautiful. We like it a lot. Isn't it good, dear? The biggest part of the Regional Development Project is the rehabilitation of the administrative center of Kakheti, Tel Aviv. This is not only about building tourist infrastructure. It can be said that this is rehabilitation or rebuilding of Tel Aviv. Not only separate buildings were renovated, but the whole streets, together with their buildings, including residential ones, were rehabilitated. Today, Tel Aviv is truly a different town. Under the Regional Development Project, the Erekli Square was completely overhauled. Cobblestone roads were built and street light posts were installed. Pedestrian road leading to Erekli Palace was lit with decorative lampposts. The facades of the residential buildings situated near the Erekli Palace were renovated in order to be in more harmony with the palace architecture. Handmade wooden balconies with decorations, beautiful towers, gates styled according to local historic architectural traditions, and rich fences. All these made this town become a best example of synthesis between the old and new. Renovated and restored Nadia Park is, as locals put it, Tel Aviv's oxygen, and one of the most favorite places of recreation for Tel Aviv residents. Information boards were put up all over Tel Aviv. Public places offer free Wi-Fi. The ancient seat of kings has become an attractive tourist destination. A special treat is in store for tourists visiting Kakheti in autumn. Wine route is the name of the tourist route, which covers the whole cycle of wine production. The endpoint of the wine route is at wine factories. Almost all major wine producers have their own wine cellars in Kakheti, which are one of the most attractive places for visitors. Under the Regional Development Project, the roadworks are still continuing in some places, whereas at some other sites, those works are already completed. The rehabilitated roads lead straight to the wine factories. They built the road for tourists. We are very happy. We are grateful. They used to tell us, you don't have payments, there is no road here, but since they fixed this road, they come and they're very happy. The rock-embedded David Garaja Monastery complex is situated in outer Kakheti, some 70 kilometers southeast of Tbilisi. The complex was founded in the 6th century by Saint David Garajeli, one of the 13 Assyrian monks. Currently, the complex stretches over 25 kilometers on the semi-desert mountain slopes and includes 22 monasteries. This place is also called Small Jerusalem due to its sacredness. Therefore, a lot of tourists and pilgrims visit it every day. Under the Regional Development Project, the Municipal Development Fund carried out significant works in David Garaja Monastery, which is currently called David's Lavra. These works were carried out with the World Bank support. One of the important parts of the project is construction of a several-kilometer-long trench for communications. The monastery complex will be provided with water and electricity. The monastery's damaged roof was repaired. A shepherd's house and a farmhouse for the monks were built as well. The works are still being carried out in the monastery complex. An information center, public toilets, and a parking lot for tourists are also being built. Spectacular province of Kakheti is part of Kakheti region. Kakheti with its snow-peaked mountains, wide pastures, pine tree forests, streams and rivers, stone-built villages and towers always attracted visitors. This part of the Greater Caucasus is a real haven for photographers and adventurers. Rehabilitation of Kakheti and Dartlo village in particular is one of the biggest parts of the Regional Development Project. On the one hand, the project implies full rehabilitation of Dartlo village, preservation of its historic and ancient architecture, and on the other hand, the project envisages construction of tourist infrastructure. Rehabilitation of historic buildings in the Dartlo village is carried out with the use of traditional materials and by applying ancient building methods. Almost all houses will be restored to their original state. We try to be involved in the construction works too. They employed all of us. They built houses for us, and we are very grateful. Dartlo's rehabilitation is very timely for the village because many houses were dilapidated and on the verge of collapsing. Currently, the owners of rehabilitated houses already plan opening small guest houses. This will develop infrastructure and facilitate growth of tourism in Kakheti and Dartlo. Lopota Lake is one of the oases in Kakheti. Lopota Hotel Complex was built around the lake. According to its owners, time stands still here. Tired of the big city life, Tbilisi residents find shelter in Lopota's quiet surroundings on weekends. Summer is the high tourism season here. Some time ago, the village road leading to Lopota was virtually non-existent. A 2-kilometer road was built anew, parking lots were introduced, and the whole perimeter around the lake was paved also under the regional development project. The new infrastructure attracts more tourists, and it all compelled the hotel owners to expand their businesses. Actually, it had a lot of impact on Lopota Hotel and number of its guests, because accessing the Lopota Lake became easier. Besides, on the hotel's territory, the tourists want better infrastructure, which means comfortable parking lots, more facilities inside the hotel complex like sports or other activities, which is a great advantage for us and visitors. Bodbe Convent holds a distinguished place in the Georgia's spiritual life. Georgia's enlightener, Saint Nino, is buried here. There is a Saint Nino stream about 3 kilometers from the monastery. According to the legend, the stream appeared as a result of Saint Nino's prayers. In order to approach the stream, one had to trek on quite a difficult, rocky path. At the moment, owing to the project supported by the World Bank, stairs were built here. Several resting spots were also built along the path. A cobbleway was built near the monastery entrance, and sewerage system has been rehabilitated. Tourism infrastructure, public spaces and information centers have been built or are under construction around almost all historic sites in Kakheti. The construction process ongoing with taking into consideration local architectural style. One of such historic sites is Ninotsminda complex, built in the 6th century. Restoration works will soon commence in the Ninotsminda convent. At the moment, the construction works are carried out outside the complex. The cobbleway has been built, the information center is almost complete, infrastructure has been completed, and it is in harmony with the monastery's architecture. Khirsa Stepantsminda Monastery, situated in the Tibani village, also dates back to the 6th century. Road leading to the monastery and the drainage system are being built here. The works are almost complete. The parking lot and information center will be finished together with the road. Assumption of the Virgin Mary, the so-called All Saints Church, Khvelatsminda, dates back to the 8th-9th centuries. It's the only two-domed church in the Orthodox Christian world, and it's situated in Gurjani village. There is an information center and parking lot built for tourists at the beginning of the alley. One gets a breathtaking view from the information center. Vejini Village Road, situated in Gurjani municipality, is another part of the regional development project. Its construction is one of the preconditions for attracting private investments. The Vejini Road ends near a sanatorium, which has already been purchased by an investor with big plans for construction here. The place with the only pseudo-volcanic therapeutic mud source, Ahtala, is situated in Ahtala Basin, Gurjani municipality. Ahtala used to be quite a popular spot during the Soviet period, and a lot of people would visit this place for medicinal reasons. The spa is still relevant today, but its infrastructure was not that attractive to visitors. Today, amazing changes can be witnessed here. A beautiful park with outdoor recreation areas and pavilions is a favorite recreation area for everybody. A lot has changed here with the World Bank support. The area has been refenced, the roads have been paved, lampposts were installed, sports and children's grounds were built, and public works were conducted in the whole area. We come here regularly. The resort is so clean and orderly, I can't even express it in words. I really like it here. The park is especially good. They have different fitness equipment, which is very good. Many good things have been done here. Among those, restored roads that were badly damaged. There are visitors, and that's very good for Gurjani. Vareli is the second largest town in Kakheti after Tel Aviv. That is why its rehabilitation is one of the important parts of the regional development project. Works are almost complete here. The changes that were made with the World Bank support are obvious in the now clean and beautiful town. The roads have been paved, bicycle tracks have also been built alongside the roads, lampposts have been installed. The ornamented buildings, renovated balconies, decorative plants, and street benches are everywhere. In order to ensure that everything was in harmony with common architectural style, the rehabilitation also covered residential houses. The houses received new fences and beautiful gates. In general, the town is a synthesis of Georgian and European styles, modern and old architecture. To ensure sustainability, training is now being provided to tourism personnel working in Kakheti, especially in the hotel sector. Capacity building is also offered to the Georgia National Tourism Administration and the Agency of Cultural Heritage Preservation. To evaluate the project impact, a professional consulting firm is hired to monitor improvements in people's life, their income, as well as it records tourists' arrival, their spending, and the level of their satisfaction. Regional Development Project of Georgia is continuing with the World Bank support. This is a project with a clearly innovative concept. Such large-scale construction works haven't taken place in Georgia yet. These development activities are directed at making Kakheti attractive for local and foreign tourism. This is a project directed toward the future. Its goal is to ensure Kakheti's further development, attracting investments to the region and providing much-needed employment to local population.